Hey guys, Tekking101 here, and this video, let me tell you, is gonna be one for the angels. Okay, I immediately realized how stupid that sounded. I'll slap myself. Okay, this is gonna be a video discussing the angels in the Dragon Ball Super series, okay? Specifically, I want to talk about this motherfucker. I don't trust this guy. Didn't trust him from day one, if we're just laying our cards on the table, alright? He showed up, and I'm like, okay, where's this going? Is this freaking munchkin? This is the Grand Priest, who is apparently the father of all angels throughout all the universes in the Dragon Ball series. We'll get to him in a second, but first I should give a little bit of exposition on how angels really work in Dragon Ball Super, considering that we don't, well, there's still a bunch we don't know, so even this could still be, elaborated upon more. We could still find some more stuff out about them. They were even just named, like, recently, like only a few months back, they were named as angels. We didn't even know what Whis' and Vados species were before that. In the Dragon Ball series, you have a lot of characters that call themselves gods. This is going as far back as Kami back in Dragon Ball. Okay, Kami's not an actual god, alright? And this was actually explained by Toriyama. Gods, at least the Shingen, these are the species of god, like the Kais. So this is like, King Kai and all the other Kais, as well as the Grand Kai and the Supreme Kais as well. They're all born, I'm not shitting you here, they're all born from fruit. Yeah, there's a tree called the Kaiju tree on the Kai planet, and these fruits come off, and then Kais come from these fruits. Okay, I didn't fucking explain that. That's just how it goes. The normal fruits off this tree will be like the normal Kais that guard like different, like they oversee different quadrants, like King Kai. However, every now and then you get a golden apple that comes off this tree, and you get a Supreme Kai. Regular Kais only live for about like 75,000 years, whereas you have Supreme Kais that can last for millions of years, and their primary function is to be creator gods, to create different worlds and oversee these worlds, okay? That would be our friend the Supreme Guy, Shin. That's his duty. Later on, we get the explanation that there are actually counters to this, a yin to your yang, the gods of destruction, which would be Beerus. Beerus's whole thing, we don't know how gods of destruction are created, by the way, although it is implied that you can actually become a god of destruction, because there's a character in the Universe 11 that apparently is like a candidate to become the next god of destruction. So apparently it's a position that you can actually fill, but that's neither here nor there. So Beerus's whole thing is to destroy planets, okay? And these two beings are connected. So if a Supreme Kai were to die, then the god of destruction of that universe would also die, and vice versa. Although it's probably going to be easier to destroy the Supreme Kai than it would be the god of destruction. So these are the gods of each universe. But then we get to angels, which are a little bit different. As far as we know, in terms of characters that are actual, like, immortals that just never die, that just apparently last forever, those are the angels and Zeno, the Omni King. Those are the only characters we know so far. Because, yeah, Supreme Kais could last for millions of years, but they would eventually die, and they can also die, and when they die, the gods of destruction die as well. Each god of destruction is assigned an angel to kind of serve as their assistant as well as their trainer. Whis taught Beerus all he knows about, like, his martial arts skills and stuff like that, which would make Whis much stronger than Beerus. That is true. All angels are apparently wicked, just incredibly strong. So, if we're just going straight by that logic, Whis is the strongest character in Universe 7, is the strongest being there, as well as every angel from each individual universe would be their strongest. The downside of this is that angels are not permitted to actually fight. They cannot engage in events. More observers and teachers and mentors than actual people that will get involved here, so they cannot actually fight. The reason that angels exist, as far as we can tell, they only serve the gods of destruction. You don't see angels accompanying the Supreme Kais. You see like assistants like Kibito serving under the Supreme Kais, but you don't actually see these angels there. I believe so far the reason that angels only cater to the gods of destruction is they're kind of there to make sure that the gods of destruction don't go too crazy, or they do something that is irreversible. So Beerus, if he really fucking wanted to, could probably obliterate the entire universe if he so chose, or if he got pissed off enough. Beerus could probably eliminate the entire Universe 7. Whis is kind of there as a backup, emergency, button, the control Z of, Beerus's actions. If Beerus destroys a planet or he goes a little bit too overboard, Whis can use his powers as an angel to reverse the time flow, going back just a few minutes to, reverse the damage that Beerus did. Because even though Beerus is the god of destruction, his powers, he can't just go around obliterating the entire universe if he wants to. That's a little bit overkill. That's reason why Whis is there, to serve as kind of an attendant. But he's still in some ways subservient to Beerus. Whatever Beerus says, if it's within reason, Whis will go along with him. And Whis even calls Beerus, Master Beerus, Lord Beerus, so they're very dutiful. Here's the deal with angels, though. Angels don't actually die when a god of destruction dies or anything like that. The way that it's described is when, in the future timeline, when the Supreme Kai got killed, and that led to the death of Beerus in that universe, the Whis of that world, future Whis, just kind of became inactive. We don't really know what that means, but they don't die. They just kind of go dormant, like they're robots or some shit. And then later on, when a new god of destruction takes the place, then they will be reactivated. So that's the situation we have here. In the most recent episode of Dragon Ball Super, episode 80, when the Grand Priest was talking about, what'll happen to the universes that get destroyed, he says that, they'll get destroyed as well as all the gods in that universe as well. So Beerus would be, if the Universe 7 were to lose the tournament, the entire universe would get obliterated along with the Supreme Kai and Beerus. However, the angels are unique here. They actually get to stay. They get to, I guess just go dormant or something. This brings up a question with the universes that were already destroyed, because we started with 18 and now we're down to 12. So what happened with those 6 angels there? Were they just dormant somewhere, or what's up with them? But then we get a loop, we get a fucking wrench thrown in here, okay? We get introduced to Zeno, the Omni King, and then we get introduced right after that, pretty much, the Grand Priest, which is apparently the angel that serves Zeno, because he's always by his side. Here's where I got a little bit iffy into this. Zeno is the supreme god of all universes in the Dragon Ball series. Whatever this little fucking pink twerp says goes. He can eliminate an entire universe at a fucking whim. He plays like a game with different planets, like literally moving different planets around. That's how he plays games, and that's the deal with him. But he has the intelligence of a small child, of a 5-year-old or like a 6-year-old or whatever. And so Beerus says that his innocence is actually dangerous, because if he sees if he sees one thing in a universe that's ugly, or something that's evil or something like that, just one part of it, he could easily obliterate the entire universe, and he's done that before. So, and then the other 6 universes that were apparently wiped out, they were apparently wiped out on a trifling thing. Like, he just got pissed off or something, or he was throwing a tantrum, and he just wiped out 6 universes just casually, like it was no big deal. So, that's scary in its own right, but then you get the Grand Priest. Now, the Grand Priest is intelligent. He's smart, okay? And he serves as the attendant of Zeno. But is he really? I suppose he could be. This is just a theory on my part. The Grand Priest could be nothing more than just, a servant of Zeno. But there's a few things that bug me about this. So number one, Zeno and the Grand Priest never seem to communicate. Rather, the Grand Priest will say, Zeno is greatly pleased, or Zeno is very upset, or the great Zeno, he seems to speak for Zeno on Zeno's behalf without the two ever actually, interacting with each other. In any meaningful way here. It seems less like he's a servant, is what I'm saying. It seems rather that he's manipulating Zeno, because Zeno is easily fucking manipulated, let's be honest here. And so, if that's the case, and this guy is really the one running the show here, what intentions does he have? But you have these ridiculously strong beings that exist that lord over all the other mortals, all the other gods of destruction, all the other supreme Kais, apparently only outclassed by the Omni King, who is a small child. Meanwhile, you have the angels that are, more intelligent. So you'd figure that the angels would get together. At least the Grand Priest would figure, oh, I'm just gonna manipulate this little shit, and then, you know, I'll have a master plan, or at least I'll be the one running the show. So, at the bare minimum, this is the way I view it right now. I'm not going to say he's straight up evil and he's going to enact an evil plan to take control of the universe or destroy all the universes, turn all the angels against their masters, and you have evil Whis and evil Vados. I mean, that would be fucking cool, but we're not going down that road just yet. Instead, I like to think of it this way. Every decision that the Omni King has made so far is either made it was either incentivized by the Grand Priest, or it was an idea that maybe the Grand Priest spoke about. You know, it would be very easy to do that. You know, like, hey, Omni King, I think there may be too many universes in the world. And the Omni King would be like, yeah, I think there is too many universes. Oh, okay, we should eliminate some then. It would be that fucking easy. It really would be. Another theory that I have, and I'm not sure how much water this might hold, but I felt like I should bring it up. I had an idea that Zeno could actually be like a cover for the Grand Priest, in the sense that the Grand Priest maybe created Zeno as just to kind of serve as a figurehead or as a puppet, so to speak, so that, you know, his real motives and intentions go unnoticed, you know, because everyone's paying attention to Zeno. He's the one that seems to have the supreme power. Now, of course, we don't know the origins of these things. We don't know where Zeno came from. We don't know where the angels came from. But it's interesting to think about. That would be like a good cover. Be like, oh yes, I am just a servant of Zeno. And then, you know, he's actually in the he's not just manipulating him like with words and just leading him. He's actually, you know, manipulating him in the sense of like, you know, if he wants a universe destroyed, he'll just make Zeno do it, because he can just, he's a creation of his. That's just an idea. But, it makes you sit back and think that, you know, the supreme god figure of the entire Dragon Ball series has the mentality of a 5-year-old. It makes you wonder, like, why is that the case? That seems like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. But, yeah, it could be that. So far, do not trust this motherfucker. He could just be a servant. He could just be a butler. Although I would bring up, you know, why does the fucking Omni King even... The Omni King already has servants. He already has those 2 big guys behind him with the high collars and shit. Why does the Grand Priest, what is his job? What is his function? What does he even need to be there to do? His function is clearly not the same as the other angels. Because if Beerus destroys like half a galaxy, Whis could just be like, oh, Lord Beerus, man, he's so pissed off today. Dung dung, and then the galaxy gets reconstituted. The Grand Priest doesn't have that same function. Because, you know, Zeno eliminated 6 universes, and the Grand Priest did shit. Here he is trying to eliminate even more universes, and the Grand Priest continues to do shit. Instead, the Grand Priest doesn't seem to give a shit at all. Every decision the Zeno makes, he just goes with blindly. That could be because he's a loyal servant, or maybe he's a personal creation of Zeno, or some deal like that. Maybe it was like, you know, in the beginning there was nothing but Zeno, and then Zeno created the Grand Priest, and the Grand Priest fathered the angels. Maybe it's some deal like that. Or it could be that he doesn't have any compunctions with what's going on, because he's the one that's actually setting this shit in motion. He's the one that's actually, you know, the one driving this train, and, you know, that's the situation at hand here. I don't know. What do you guys think about the angels? What do you think about what they could do in the future? What do you think about the Grand Priest? What do you think about Zeno? And if their relationship is if it's being manipulated at all, or something like that. And I guess the big question is, if the Grand Priest is manipulating Zeno, to what end? What goal would he have? You know? I have no idea. I don't, and that bugs me, but that's also what keeps me watching. So thanks for watching, guys. Just wanted to talk about angels really quick. This will be Tekking101 signing out.